going to talk about playing the saxophone in the different octaves. So when we first start playing saxophone, we usually start on third line D. So that's here. Okay, so when I played that note D, it's like he. So my tongue position was a little bit higher in the back. It's like if I was singing that note, he, I would have my tongue up in the back just a little bit, okay? So I'm thinking about putting it higher. Now, if I played lower notes, I would want to put my tongue in a lower position. So if I'm singing high, I'm he. If I'm singing low, I'm more ha when I'm doing that. So what I'm going to do is just start on the D and then go down to about the G. And as I'm going down, I want to think about how my tongue is going to change. As I go from D to the G, is it going high or is it going low? What's going on? So let's do that and let's think about it. So we'll start on third line D. Okay, so I went so I went from here to about here. So what that's called is voicing. Okay, so we're just voicing it. It's just like if you were singing. If you're not sure about where you should have your tongue when you're playing an instrument, if it's a low note, you should have your tongue in a lower position, back of your tongue. If you have a higher note, your tongue's going to be in a higher position. Okay, it's that simple. So on saxophone, we can easily go back and forth between octaves, but sometimes if you don't have your tongue in the right position, the lower octave doesn't want to come out. For instance, if you've ever played a G and you're trying to get the lower G to come out, but the higher G keeps coming out instead, okay? It could be a couple things. It could be that your tongue position did not get low enough. It was here and stayed here, and then you couldn't get that lower G to happen, okay? Let me show you. Okay, so you see it didn't come out, right? Okay, well that's because when I was trying to get the lower position, when I let go of my octave key, I didn't change my tongue position and it stayed high, okay? So this time I'm going to, as I let go of my octave key, I'm going to go from a higher tongue position to a lower tongue position. So like from a he to a ha, okay? G again. Okay, so you see what I did was when I did it, I didn't tongue in between. I went hee-oh, like that. It's a little easier to get the low G to come out if you tongue it. So I want you to try it both ways. Do what I just did. I was able to get my G out in the lower register because I changed my tongue position. Okay, so this time we're going to do it again, and we're going to change our tongue position, and we're going to articulate each note. Okay. Okay, so you notice that when I played that, I didn't move my head around, I didn't change, I didn't drop my neck or anything like that. We don't want to do that either. We want to make sure that our embouchure stays the same, okay, our air stays the same when we're playing, our posture stays the same. We're not bringing the saxophone forward or bringing it back. We're not doing any of those things. Everything stays the same. Everything's in line when we play, okay? All I did was I changed my tongue position. I went from a higher he position to a lower position, okay? And that's all you have to do when you go from one to another. So if you're playing a G and it's a low G, second line G, and you keep popping the octave, okay, think about what's my tongue doing inside. Is it he or is it ha? Is it low or is it high? It needs to be in a lower position. Okay, one other thing that could be part of the problem. Sometimes if you don't focus your air properly, if you think about your air instead of fast through the instrument, if you focus your air that way, like towards the wall or the ceiling or something like that, that will sometimes cause it to pop the octave also, to stay up high rather than low, okay? So it's really important to make sure that when you're playing, again, everything lined up, the air push fast through the instrument. Don't blow your air straight at the wall, okay? Because that is going to make the air not know where it's going. It needs to have that focused line all the way through the instrument. So make sure you're doing that. I don't mean for you to move your head at all. I want you to keep everything, bring the saxophone to you, okay? Top teeth are firm on the top of the mouthpiece, okay? Make sure your neck strap is high enough. And you just blow that nice air. So here's the D, okay? Okay, and if I want to get a low D, okay? I had no effort at all doing that. I didn't change my airflow. My airflow kept the same. I kept my top teeth nice and firm, kept the embouchure firm. All I did was go from here to here with my tongue, hee-haw, voicing. It's very, very important. We must voice on our instruments all the time, okay? So we always think about it. I always think about when I'm playing, how would I sing that note? If I can't get that note to come out, how would I sing that note? So low tongue position for low notes, higher tongue position for higher notes. I like to use ha and he. It works, okay? Use a mirror to watch yourself. Sometimes it may be that we might be moving our head around too much when you're playing, okay? Maybe you moved your embouchure or something. Could be that. Maybe your saxophone is not in the right position. Maybe it's too far forward, too far back. All of those things. If you use a mirror, the mirror will tell you what you're doing wrong, okay? And it's a great help. So make sure you use the mirror. It is your best friend. Okay, I'll see you in the next time.